As the 18th National Congress of Communist Party of China opens in Beijing today, I have interviewed Mr. Jean-Pierre Raffarin, Vice President of the Senate of France, and also former Prime Minister of France. Mr. Raffarin has been actively involved in the promoting of China-EU-China-France relationship for the last years. Mr. Raffarin has been quite confident that the next generation of Chinese leaders will carry on this kind of a momentum. Mr. Raffarin, thank you. Thank you very much for accepting China Daily interview the second time of this year. First, I would like to ask you, as today China has opened the 18th National Congress of CPC. So how do you look at the importance of this political event?
This Congress will be very important for China, for Chinese, for French, for the whole world, because a new team will be elected for the next future, but maybe 10 years. And it's very important to know what will be the future of China. Everybody in the world needs China. We need the growth of China, but we need also the culture of Chinese people. We need our partnership in economic affairs, but also in cultural affairs. So what happens in China, it's important everywhere. And I think this Congress will be very important for us because the new team has a lot of very important challenge to win. But I do hope they are able to give a good future for China.
And also in your mind, what is the image of the Communist Party of China?
The Party Communist of China is a big country. You have more people in the Communist Party in China than in France. So I suppose it's very difficult to drive such a party, just like it's difficult to drive such a country. So my first idea is how to lead such a very important and big organization. And I'm very impressed by the organization between the top and the bottom, with the province, and the responsibility in the local organization of the party. And I have visited a lot of local structure of the Communist Party, and it's very interesting, with very clever people, very active people to work for the others. And it's a very clever organization, big, strong, but national, local, very professional about international affairs, so a good organization. And I have seen a lot of competition in the party. So I have seen how the democracy has been developed inside the party. And it's interesting to look after the party. It's difficult for us to understand because your party is also your administration. So we have a good administration, like Mr. Confucius said. We have a good administration. We have a big, good school of administration. Your school of administration is a school of the party. So it's very difficult to compare, but I know it's an organization which is very important for the stability and the unity of the country.
When we look back, if you sum up the legacies of the leadership under Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, so what are the legacies impress you most?
I think both they are very strategical people for the world, for the peace. Firstly, the main point is the peace. We need to have a balanced world. I think that the peace is not the business on only one big country, but the peace is the result of a balance of the world with a multipolar world. So I think that the team between Mr. Hu Jintao and Mr. Wen Jiabao was very important for the peace and also for the growth everywhere, and also to have a good trade in the world. Each country wants to sell more and more to China. Okay, but it's very important nowadays to have such a big growth. And we have seen the results in average in China, 7.5% of growth. But in Sichuan, 15%. And a lot of French companies, small and medium companies, are in Chengdu, in the west, in China, with a very big growth. So that's important. So I think that Mr. Hu Jintao and Mr. Wen Jiabao, when they look about what they've done, they have contributed to the peace in the world and to the growth for all the world. So with both business, they have done a good job for the world. And I'm not a specialist of China, but I went to China the first time in 1971. So I have a lot of trip and a lot of look, a lot of experience, and I have seen the change in China. I have seen the openness, I have seen the reforms, and I think that your country is moving very, very fast. But we have to have in mind that the economic is very important, but we need to understand also the culture. The culture is as important as the economic.